Intelligence gets a body. For the last few years, AI mostly lived behind a screen. It wrote text, generated images, summarized documents, answered questions, created code, made presentations. When it failed, the failure usually stayed digital. A wrong sentence, a bad image, a broken script, a hallucinated answer. Annoying. Sometimes expensive. But still mostly inside the screen. Physical AI changes the category of the mistake. When intelligence gets a body, an error is no longer only a wrong word. It can be a dropped box, a stopped production line, a blocked street, a damaged product, a missed emergency signal, a wrong movement near a human hand. That is why robotics is not just AI plus metal. It is AI plus consequence. #The screen was a safe cage. Digital AI can be powerful while still being contained. The user asks. The model answers. The human decides what happens next. There is distance between thought and action. There is usually a review step. Copy. Paste. Approve. Run. Publish. Deploy. But physical AI removes some of that distance. The system does not only suggest a movement. It moves. It does not only describe a route. It drives. It does not only classify an object. It grabs it. It does not only plan a warehouse task. It touches the warehouse. This is the moment AI leaves language and enters physics. #The new loop, perception, planning, action, feedback. A robot is not one model. A robot is a loop. First it perceives. Cameras. Depth sensors. Touch. Audio. Position. Force. Then it builds a picture of the world. Where is the object? Where is the human? What is moving? What is fragile? What changed since the last second? Then it plans. Pick this. Move there. Avoid that. Slow down. Try again. Ask for help. Then it acts. Motors. Wheels. Hands. Arms. Grippers. Brakes. And then the world answers. The object slips. The person moves. The light changes. The floor is uneven. The box is heavier than expected. The plan was almost right, but not right enough. This feedback loop is the real difference. A chatbot can finish a sentence. A robot must survive the next second. #Why the body changes intelligence. The body changes what intelligence means. A language model can be vague. A robot cannot be vague when it reaches for a glass. A chatbot can take 5 seconds to think. A drone may not have 5 seconds. A model can generate 10 alternatives. A vehicle has to choose one lane. A digital agent can fail and retry. A robot may fail by breaking something. So physical AI forces intelligence to become situated. It must understand context. Gravity. Friction. Distance. Timing. Energy. Wear. Safety. Human reaction. The real world does not forgive abstraction forever. This is why robotics is such a hard test for AI. It asks a simple question. Can intelligence still work when reality pushes back? #Why this is happening now. The robotics wave is not coming from one company. It is coming from a stack. NVIDIA is building physical AI infrastructure around Isaac GR00T, Jetson Thor, Cosmos, and simulation workflows. Google DeepMind is pushing models such as Gemini robotics that connect perception, reasoning, and action. Figure is trying to bring vision language action systems like Helix into logistics and eventually homes. Waymo shows another version of embodied intelligence, not a humanoid, but an autonomous system moving through public roads. Different bodies. Same direction. AI is moving from prediction to action. The important phrase is vision language action. VLA. The model does not only see and talk. It sees, interprets, and produces action. That is a major shift. Because action is where the bill comes due. ## simulation becomes the training ground. Physical AI cannot learn only by breaking real things. That would be too slow. Too expensive. Too dangerous. So the world has to be simulated first. Digital twins. Synthetic motion data. World Foundation models. Robot training environments. Generated scenarios. Failure cases. Rare events. This is why NVIDIA Cosmos matters. The idea is not only to generate beautiful video. The deeper idea is to help machines learn the physics, motion, and spatial logic of the world before they act in it. A robot needs a model of what could happen next. If I push this object, will it slide? If I turn here, will I hit the shelf? If a person steps into the path, what is the safe action? Physical intelligence is not only recognizing the present. It is predicting the near future. ## humanoid is not the whole story. Humanoid robots get the attention because they look like us. That matters. The human world was built for human bodies. Doors. Stairs. Handles. Shelves. Tools. Kitchens. Factories. Warehouses. A human-shaped robot can enter spaces already designed for humans. But the humanoid form is not always the best answer. Sometimes wheels are better. Sometimes a fixed arm is better. Sometimes a drone is better. Sometimes a specialized machine is safer, cheaper, and more reliable. The future of physical AI will not be only humanoids. It will be bodies matched to tasks. The real question is not, does the robot look human? The real question is, can the system perceive, decide, act and recover safely in the environment where it is deployed? ## the safety problem becomes physical. The more AI moves, the more safety changes. In digital AI, safety often means content policy. What should the model say? What should it refuse? What should it explain? In physical AI, safety also means motion policy. Where can it move? How fast? How close to a human? When should it stop? When should it ask for help? When should remote operators intervene? How does it behave around children, emergency workers, fragile objects, or unpredictable streets? This is not theoretical. Autonomous vehicles already show the problem. The vehicle may drive safely most of the time. But the hard cases are exactly the ones society cares about. Construction zones. Police signals. Emergency vehicles. Blocked roads. Unusual human behavior. The physical world is full of exceptions. And exceptions are where trust is built or lost. ## the new human role. Robots do not remove humans from the system. They move humans to a different layer. Supervision. Training. Exception handling. Maintenance. Fleet management. Safety auditing. Data collection. Remote assistance. Workflow design. The human may stop doing every repetitive movement. But the human becomes responsible for the context around the machine. What should be automated? What must remain supervised? What failure is acceptable? What failure is not acceptable? Who is responsible when physical action causes damage? This is why physical AI is not only a robotics story. It is a governance story. A labor story. A liability story. A trust story. ## the main conclusion. AI getting a body is a civilization level shift. Not because every robot will be perfect. They will not. Not because humanoids will suddenly fill every home. They will not. But because intelligence is crossing a boundary. From language into motion. From prediction into action. From screen into environment. From answer into consequence. The future will not be judged only by benchmark scores. It will be judged by how machines behave when the floor is wet, the box is heavier than expected, the human changes direction, and the world refuses to match the training data. That is the real test. Not whether AI can talk about the world. Whether it can move through the world without making the world worse. Intelligence is leaving the screen. Now it has to learn responsibility.